Hi, thanks for watching this video. Next few minutes, I want to talk about stakeholder analysis. The satisfaction of the stakeholder decides your project's success or failure. Of course, other parameters are there like scope, timeline, and cost factor. But still, stakeholder satisfaction decides a lot of the factor. The project may be predictive nature, could be adaptive nature, agile model, hybrid model, whatever model of project process you follow. The stakeholder focus becomes pretty important. Now, first of all, what is a stakeholder? A stakeholder could be an individual, could be an organization who is going to directly or indirectly contribute for a project's success or failure. Let's say there is a birthday party at my home, right? I may invite a lot of people, my friends, relatives, and the little kid who's actually celebrating the birthday, and a cake supplier, a musician, a magician, the parking slot person. All these people are going to contribute for the project. Now I should know how to handle them, right? The baby kid is pretty more important, right? Key stakeholder. The cake supplier, very key. You have to watch out. The cake should be on the time. Like this, there are people around, an organization around. How do you classify them? How do you categorize them? That decides a project success. So now you can question me, do you really worry about it? Will it happen automatically? Actually not. We as a project manager or a leadership team in the project management, we have to give focus on that. If you go to the books of PMP, the project management professional certification, there's a place called stakeholder analysis. The stakeholder analysis, it has a good way of describing how to handle the stakeholders. Primarily, they use certain terminology to classify or group the people or organization. One is power. The power is how much of authority and power they have within this project. All right. And they talk about interest level. What is the interest of the person or organization in the outcome of this project or within the project? What's the interest? And influence. How much of influence is going to play on the outcome of this project? And something called urgency and legitimacy. I'll come to these areas as I go. Now, the first thing, or easiest thing we generally talk in stakeholder analysis is power and interest grid. There is a grid here. When you watch out this grid here, they use power and they use interest to classify and categorize the people around in the stakeholder. So what they do here is the people with the highest power, the people with the highest power, the people with the highest interest will give a higher focus, right? Maybe your company's immediate senior official or a CEO at times, sponsors of a project sometime, they get the highest power and highest interest, and you have to focus them. Now, the question is why we have to focus? Because when you focus on the key people, the project moves in the right direction. So the next question is, so I may not need to focus other people. We may, but in the next cycle of your project may be needed. But for now, whom we have to keep an eye. And this categorization is called power interest. There are some category of people who are low power, low interest. They may not have high power now, interest now. Later in the project, they may. But for now, they stand there. Doesn't mean you have to ignore them. Keep them informed what's happening in the project. It happens, right? Sometimes. So now, there's a power and interest help us to group the people. The grouping happens here. Categorizing happens here. Now, what is the next thing better you can do? The power interest is one part. There is one more thing spoken up in PMP books, which talks about Salience Model. In this Salience Model, what they do is they use three parameters to categorize the people in an organization. The three categories are, they look out for the power, they look out for the urgency, they look out for the legitimacy. Now, what is this? So, as I say, the power is going to be on the authority of what kind of decisions these people are going to make in the project. The urgency, the necessity, need could be the outcome, could be there is a deliverable expectations, right? It could be the market demand that decides some factor there. And the third one of legitimacy, which talks about the appropriateness, right? Their role plays a role there. The point here is this is used in pretty complex projects or bigger size projects. They use this model that is called Salience Model, where you have power, urgency, and legitimacy. And the usual and every project model, they use this power and interest to categorize it. Apart from this, any other model is there? Yeah, a few more are there. Power influence is there, influence impact is there. There are a few models are there. But primarily, these two models play a big role. So, I'm not in management. How do you understand this? Take your mobile phone. You have an address book. In a mobile phone, you have an address book. This address book will have hundreds of people, sometimes thousands of people. I will not give importance to all the numbers in that list, but I have some people very close and important. When I get a message from them, I'll quickly reply back. Or when I get a call, I pick up immediately. Some unknown numbers I may add a little later. Some number I know them, but I can't spend time with them now. So this grouping happens logically in your brain from the address book. Individually, it is fine. But when you go to corporate level, it's such a big level with a big amount of projects happening, we need to categorize it. Now, coming back to the example of the birthday party, in a birthday party, the baby is pretty important, and the cake supplier is important, parking slot is important, right? When the project going to start, parking slot is important. Once the program starts, everything goes smooth. I may not worry about the parking slot guy who is helping them. Once the party is over, people start going out again. The car starts going out, vehicles start going out. Again, I have to give a focus on the parking slot person. So the same person sometimes have more interest, sometimes less, again more interest. So it starts fluctuating. As a leader, as a manager of the project, we will keep an eye on these names. We will keep an eye on how to handle them effectively, how to set the communication track smoothly. For this reason, we need proper analysis of stakeholders. Coming back to the same point, satisfaction of the stakeholder decides your project success or failure. So keeping an eye of classifying and handling effectively makes us more successful. Thanks for watching this video. For more questions on PMP, on project management doubts and clarification, reach out to the mail ID and phone number given here. Thanks for watching this.